Hey everyone, so in today's video, I'm talking about news. Probably a week late for some of us, but hey, I don't care. So firstly, Windows 7 is dead. Not literally, but in the sense of there's no more feature updates or security updates. It's at the end of its life. It has lived a very long life and shall be missed by a good portion of us. Except overclockers, well, professional ones, extreme overclockers, that still want to use it and still are going to use it, that nothing's stopping them from using it because it's lighter on resources, so they can get possibly better results or get their results faster than on Windows 10. In a Tom's Hardware article on this topic, surprise, surprise, professional overclocker Joe Stepan Bearded Hardware, he occasionally pops up on Gamers Nexus, stated that we, professional overclockers, prefer performance over security. Fair point. And also stated that it's all about bleeding edge performance. That Windows 10 is quite large and excessive in comparison to Windows 7. End of quotes. And it goes along with that, there's a few benchmark software that gets used that runs better, understandably, on its native operating system. So if it's supposed to be used for Windows 7, it will run better than it would on Windows 10. Now, in all things amazing and whatnot, that for professional overclockers, Windows 7 is still a highly used thing quite clearly, is Ryzen. AMD, Ryzen, and Windows 7 don't exactly meet in a way. As in the same Tom's Hardware article, Alan Gulliver Such, aka Spliv, so sorry for butchering your name, stated that current gen AMD, so Ryzen, does not have very good support for Windows 8, let alone Windows 7, and that Ryzen Master just won't even install. So really, if you want to be a professional overclocker, run Intel on Windows 7. Basically, if you're using an AMD CPU, Windows 10. That's my take from this. Okay, so that's the main lot of news, and I just want to get through the rest very quickly, so let's get through it very quickly. So Intel is feeling the pressure from AMD EPYC Rome server processors as they have decided to discontinue some of their Cascade Lake Xeon processors and are discounting others. So to how I understand it, all of the standard Cascade Lake Xeon processors are going to stay the same. M series processors, so medium memory supports, Cascade Lake Xeon processors, are being discontinued, and large memory supports, Cascade Lake Xeon processors, so L series, are being reduced in price from $7,897 USD down to $3,003 USD, which is the same price that the M series Cascade Lake processors were at before their now discontinuance. So that is more than a 50% mark down basically on the L series processors. So they are feeling the pressure. Guess who's back? Back again. Intel's back. Tell a friend. Intel has reclaimed its status as the largest semiconductor vendor, so good for them. It comes as revenue from semiconductors declined by about 12% last year. And also Samsung, who Intel who Intel surpassed, had a bit more of a hit in comparison to Intel as RAM prices dropped. So yes, the DRAM price drop and the flash chips price drop affected Samsung more than it affected Intel, as Intel has a small, in comparison to others, 3D NAND business operation side of thing in comparison to Samsung. So because of that, they're back at the top spot. Yay! Now, this is a rumor, it's an Intel rumor. It looks like they are going to release a new HEDT processor, hopefully to gain back some lost market share from Threadripper 3000. And the fact that AMD is about to release the 3990X, which is going to take more. Probably not by that much though. But that's all dependent on how deep people's pockets are. Of course, Intel's probably not going to be all too cheap either. But there's the rumored i9 10990XC processor that is apparently coming out eventually. And it's got a whopping TDP. According to a Tom's Hardware article, The 10990XC is going to have 22 threads and 44 cores. So that's still less than the AMD Threadripper 3970X in core and thread count, but it's going to have a 4 GHz base clock, all cores, and apparently, according to a graph, it's going to have an all-core boost clock of 5 GHz, which is mighty impressive in all honesty. And to be fair, I'm not quite sure how believable that base and boost clock is, because that base clock is actually faster than the 10980XE's boost clock. Not to mention that the boost clock, the all-core boost clock, sorry, for the 10990XE is 1.2 GHz faster than the 10980XE's boost clock. Now, the one thing that makes it appear that that could be true is the TDP, which is 380 watts, which is massive. It's a big jump from the 10980XE's TDP of 165 watts. So we're talking like 215 watts higher TDP than step down. No word yet, as I know of at the moment, on pricing. But that TDP appears to indicate, if this is all true, that it's going to require a lot more power, and that there might be how it can achieve these rumored base and boost clocks. But only one way to find out, and that's to wait and see if this rumor turns out to be a reality. Now let's go from Intel to AMD. So with Ryzen 3000, we've got our X570 boards, and we've been waiting for B550 and A520 for a good while now. And the only word that we have officially heard is that it's coming. And it is coming. I think some people in the tech space have heard an official word of when it is, which is annoying. But what is expected to be out by the end of this year, 2020, is the 600 series motherboards. So we might be getting B650 before we get B550 at this rate. At this point, while it would be nice to have B550, no point, in my opinion, in releasing it. Who cares? Well, lots of people actually care, don't get me wrong, but it feels like it's taken too long for B550 to come out when we know that the next generation of Ryzen is going to be out this year. Not to mention, even though we don't know exactly when, with Ryzen 4000 coming out this year, it's taken a while. It might as well just release X670, B550, or B650, sorry, and might as well do a B6 or A620. Are they going to release B550 when they release X670 or not, is beginning to be how it feels, in a way. We've been waiting half a year. And lastly, and I think it's actually really impressive, and it's not at a consumer grade yet, it's just research, but it might actually end up being something in the future. Researchers from the University of Lancaster in the UK have succeeded in making non-volatile Ram, not a first, but that's not the impressive part. The impressive part is that it's apparently as fast as DRAM and only uses just 1% of the power that modern day DRAM and NAND uses, or needs to be able to write data. This is still largely in development stage, as it's only on single transistors at the moment, so it's not anywhere near commercial yet, but it's really cool because that might mean that in the future we might have much faster loading times when we turn our computer on, because RAM is like goldfish. Once they don't need to remember something, they just forget it. I bet that. And because of the ability of it being non-volatile, so it remembers this stuff, basically, it will take away sleep states, basically, because the computer will just remember on how it needs to turn on, and it can actually possibly even pick up right where you left off, instead of having to boot everything up like we always have to do. You push that power button and you wait for it to boot up. If you're on an older computer with a slow hard drive, make yourself a cup of coffee, drink it, have a cookie, come back and watch it finish loading up. This is really interesting stuff that they're working on at the moment, and I really hope that this comes to the commercial side of things one day, soonish, eventually. 20 years time, I don't know. How long does this stuff take to go from developments to we can buy it. But yes, very interesting, very cool. To think that it's as fast as DRAM and a lot more energy efficient when it needs to write down data. So yes, that's all I have for you today. I know this was a bit of a different video than normal. Let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it or not, or if there's any bits I could work on. Also, while you're here, don't forget to hit that like button, and also, more importantly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It'll be an awesome thing for you to do. And I will hope that you watch the next video I upload. See ya!